For over a century, cities here in the United States used to be designed for a gridiron pattern. Until the 1900s, when cars went mainstream, these new cul-de-sacs and dead-end street patterns had become popular in America's neighborhoods. Now, the purpose was to reduce car traffic on residential streets and reduce noise and pollution and also accidents. But because streets don't connect each other in this way, causes fewer accidents and fewer vehicles to enter a neighborhood. Now, cul-de-sac or a loop pattern are a common thing in America's streets today. And there's also pros and cons to living in such areas. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing both the advantages and the disadvantages of living in a cul-de-sac area. So if you're a future home buyer or a homeowner, you want to be thinking about moving to a cul-de-sac or a cul-de-sac neighborhood, this is the video for you. And if this is your first time around here, my name is Jerry Pincus. I'm your real estate expert with over 20 years of experience. And my team has helped over 2,000 people successfully move, and I'm here to help you avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So give me a thumbs up if you go with that. Now let's start with the advantages first. Number one, there's less traffic. Now this is one of the biggest advantages of living in a cul-de-sac neighborhood because cul-de-sac lots have only one single entry and exit point, which can effectively eliminate any cut-through traffic in the area. Now this can be a really good point for elderly homeowners, especially if you're planning to retire in the next 5 years, or maybe you have young children at home. But only having one entry or exit point has its downsides as well. So I'm going to get into that a little bit later in this video. Number two is much safer neighborhood. Now, having less traffic means that there's a cause to have less accidents in that neighborhood as well. For young families with small children, this really translates into a significant peace of mind because less traffic leads to less crashes in the area, but it doesn't mean that crashes don't happen at all. But you still will be feeling more comfortable letting the kids play outside, knowing that the risk of encountering speeding vehicles or unexpected traffic flow is really low. And number three, quieter environment. Now this also means the environment is going to have much less traffic coming through, so the noise levels aren't going to be as high. But the absence of a constant flow of traffic because there's only one single entry point, this translates into a significant reduction in noise pollution as well. And this will create a more peaceful and calm atmosphere. So if you're looking for a quieter and peaceful place to live, you may want to consider a cul-de-sac area or a cul-de-sac patterned neighborhood. However, you got to be careful because some cul-de-sacs may be located close to some major roads or highways, so that noise level still might be coming from there. Or even residents that are coming and going from their vehicles, depending on how much traffic there is at a house, can affect the noise level and the pollution within that neighborhood. So make sure that your real estate expert has a proper understanding of your needs and knows exactly what perfect house that you're looking for. Number four, bigger backyards. Now the advantage to this cul-de-sac neighborhood is that neighborhoods are significantly bigger. Now unlike traditional rectangular lots, cul-de-sac properties often design homes in a pie-shaped layout. And this means you're typically get a larger or more spacious backyard. And this additional space is also for children to play or room for a vegetable garden or even a swimming pool. Now the additional space can be particularly appealing to families with children. Can they have free area to play around in their own backyard? And this room translates to more options for outdoor activities for families. Now whether it's setting up a swing set or creating a space for a basketball hoop or even just a picnic area, this is a positive thing for family. Even for those without children or pets, the spacious backyard can have many advantages just for peace of mind. That extra square footage allows you to create your personalized outdoor retreat. And this could be setting up a more comfortable patio area or entertaining guests or building a fire pit or anything that you want to do. But make sure that you get the HOA's approval, if there is any, before you do any outdoor modification to that house. Now depending on the HOA, or your HOA may restrict certain modifications or no mods at all, check them out. Now the fifth advantage is that such areas offer more privacy and a larger backyard depending upon the house's position. As I said earlier, a cul-de-sac property are often designed as a pie-shaped lot. So this leads to a more spacious backyard. But this also means the distance between your house and your neighbor's house is comparatively bigger in the back section. Now, unlike traditional streets where houses are located directly facing each other, cul-de-sac homes often have an angular pie-shaped property line. And this means your windows may not directly overlook your neighbor's windows, as it would if it was lined up on a street side by side. So this will create a more natural barrier and reduce the feeling of being constantly on display. Although you can use curtains in regular homes to solve this, but the physical distance also gives you more privacy within your house. Now, if you've made up your mind about living in a cul-de-sac neighborhood, you might want to think again because here's some other options. Because this is where it all changes, guys. Such neighborhoods come with their own downsides, which may turn off some home buyers. Now here's 5 major distractions that you should consider before buying that house in a cul-de-sac. Number 1, it's less walkable and you need more car dependency. Now one key consideration is the impact of walkability and car dependence. Now this usually means you can't just walk to the store or things aren't close by. It usually turns off younger home buyers and people who ride on bikes a lot, because pie-shaped housing designs make it less convenient for bikes to ride around or even for long distances, because cul-de-sacs will feature winding layouts and limit pedestrian infrastructure. Now this can make it challenging for walking or biking to destinations, to even like school or shops or any kind of nearby parks. However, the impact can vary depending upon the specific design of that cul-de-sac neighborhood. And some newer developments have dedicated walking paths or biking paths, or you might have a clubhouse or a pool, a community pool. But you just have to find out what that is in that neighborhood so you can find your hidden gem. And number 2, limited entry for emergency vehicles. Now, such designs sometimes limit navigation for emergency vehicles, or it's harder to find a neighborhood or that particular house in an emergency situation. Emergency responders may not be able to navigate freely as they do as one access point. So it's critical in moments of an emergency like a fire or other situations, it could be a problem. A single entry point and exit point can also lead to longer response time for ambulances and fire trucks and police vehicles. But like I said earlier, new communities take measures to mitigate such drawback. But some communities have turnaround areas within that neighborhood, and they'll allow emergency vehicles to quickly turn around without having to navigate back off into the entire street. Number 3, houses may be set further back on the lot line. Now, because front yards and cul-de-sacs are usually a smaller area, the houses themselves usually sit back further on the lot. Now this can eat into a backyard space depending upon the lot and how big it is, and make it difficult for you to do modifications. For example, if you may or may not have enough room to install that pool that you want. So you're basically trading a bigger backyard for some extra usable space. And number 4, smaller driveways. Now you got to watch out for this, because this 4th biggest distraction is a smaller driveway area in a smaller front yard. Depending on positioning of your house, this could be a turnoff for you, because already you have multiple vehicles. You know, you got to look at where you're parking those vehicles. You need extra space for that, right? So homeowners who use their vehicles for work or hobbies, or a smaller driveway, can also be pretty challenging. Now imagine a contractor coming over to do work on your house, or a work truck, or a landscaper coming over. This limited driveway space may not fulfill all the needs for your house. So eventually you're going to have to take into measure all those pros and those cons so you can choose the perfect house for you. And remember guys, the deal of the decade, it happens about once a week. So you just need to find the right person that can help you find that deal for you. An experienced local real estate expert may have already worked that area many times, and they know many things that many other new people just don't know about. And I'm Jerry with Jerry Pincus Real Estate Experts. My real estate team is here to help you find your hidden gem and to avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So give us a call at 843-839-9870. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with somebody you know who could use it. Until next time, stay happy, stay educated, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.